Owen said, yeah, fair point. I like we've got more of a chance for Zubimendi than Madrid. Like you've said, Madrid would go for Rodri. Oh, definitely. And I think Rodri would take that move as well. On Manchester City, this report came out from Sami Mokbel of I think it's the Daily Mail he writes for, said representatives of Manchester City's players have begun exploring their options amid the looming threat of enforced relegation. So it's going to be one of the side effects of the charges around Manchester City, of course, is going to be what happens if they're relegated, or what happens if they're banned from European competition, or what happens if they get multiple points deductions over multiple seasons. Are players like Rodri, Erling Haaland, Foden, are they going to want to stay there knowing that they might not be playing Champions League football for a few years, or that they may be playing in a lower division? I wouldn't if I was in their shoe. Maybe Foden is a homegrown fella, but certainly, I think Erling Haaland's loyalty to Manchester City is only really there from the financial standpoint, the fact his father played. I don't think he sees his whole career being at Manchester City, so I don't think he'd have a problem moving away. But it will, of course, be interesting to see what happens. The fact that this report is saying that the agents of these guys are already looking around to see what might happen, I think that speaks volumes in itself. Nimnoy said, don't think only relegation is a fair punishment. I think there's lots of things on the table. Because remember, this is an unprecedented situation with Manchester City. They have 115 plus charges against them in what is, I guess, ultimately a fraud case. So I don't know what the outcome is going to be if all, some or none of those charges are proven. But loads of things have been talked about. Relegation, of course, has been spoken about. Expulsion from European competition would have to be done from the English side. Obviously, UEFA can't act here, but the Premier League could say that they're not putting them forward for European places. Then there's been talk of maybe a multiple points deduction over multiple years as well. So really, I don't know what to expect with it. We have to wait for the situation to play out. And even when it is resolved and we get the judgment in January, February, March time, I would fully expect that whatever the outcome is, it'll be appealed. So if City prove the charges to be untrue, I would imagine the Premier League will appeal that ruling. If City are proven to have committed some or all of the charges, then I fully expect City to appeal that. All I can say is that appeal won't be heard by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, because that isn't recognised and that is written in the Premier League rules. To the best of my understanding on this, there's a 12 judge panel that the Premier League use for these type of investigations. If Manchester City do appeal, or if the Premier League appeal it, I believe that it will be a different 3 to the original 3 that are taken on the case now. So that's all I really know on it. And after that, we'll have to wait and see what happens. One more thing actually on this is, legally, the EFL don't have any legal responsibility to accept Manchester City. If Manchester City were relegated down through the divisions because of a points tally, then yes, the EFL have to accept them in. But I don't believe if they were expelled from the Premier League that the EFL has any legal obligation to automatically take Manchester City into the league. I'm open to being corrected on that, but I'm pretty sure I'd read that somewhere. Ben Barrett said, if City are out of the equation, who's challenging Liverpool in the Prem? Arsenal probably be the nearest ones to us, mate. You got to see. I don't know what's going to happen at Chelsea in the coming years. I mean, the scattergun transfer approach could turn out to be worth it in the long run or not. It feels to me like Chelsea are preparing themselves for a potential transfer ban by all of the signings that they've made. So, what way they will be in the coming years will be interesting. Spurs won't be really challenging. United have a long way to come back up as well. Villa, looking really, really solid at the minute as well under Unai Emery, and their transfer business looks good. Rodgers looks incredible for Villa. Looks like he's a future England international. Yeah, they look good. He's English, right, Rodgers? Maybe I've got that wrong, but he looks really good anyway.